All right, Steelers Nation, buckle up, because this is one of those topics that hits right at the heart of what it means to build a franchise quarterback. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Wire, where we keep it real about the black and gold. If you bleed black and gold like I do, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop your takes in the comments, because this one is going to spark a serious debate. So here's the deal. There's growing concern that the Pittsburgh Steelers might actually be crushing Will Howard's future before it even gets started. And let's not sugarcoat it. This has fans split. On one side, you've got people saying, hey, he's a 6th-round pick, he got hurt, let him sit and learn. On the other side, you've got voices like insider Mark Kaboly raising alarms, basically saying, hold up, the Steelers are being way too cautious here, and if they don't handle this right, they could derail his development completely. Let's rewind for a second. Howard came into camp as a rookie with that fire you want to see. Out of Ohio State, national champion, chip on his shoulder. The kid was outplaying Skylar Thompson early on, and that's no small thing. Thompson's been around the league, bounced around, but he's no pushover. The fact that Howard was elevated so quickly to QB3 behind Rodgers and Rudolph was a signal that the coaching staff saw something special. Then, disaster. During a routine exchange, Howard fractures his pinky. Just like that, his preseason is gone. No live action, no in-game reps, nothing to show Steelers Nation what he can do under pressure. That hurts because we all know reps are gold for a young quarterback. The Steelers decided to stash him on injured reserve with the designated to return tag. By NFL rules, that means he has to miss at least the first 4 games. That's understandable, but here's where it gets messy. Insiders are already suggesting the Steelers might keep him on IR for the entire season. Not because he won't be healthy, but because they like the stability of Rodgers, Rudolph, and Thompson. And that, my friends, is what has people like Kaboly fuming. His take is blunt. The Steelers need to develop quarterbacks, not hinder their development. And he's not wrong. We've been here before, haven't we? Mason Rudolph back in 2018, drafted in the 3rd round, supposed to be the future, but Pittsburgh never really set him up for success. He sat as QB3, didn't get the developmental reps he needed, then boom, Ben goes down in 2019, and Rudolph gets thrown to the Wolves. We all remember how rocky that ride was. Now, is Will Howard Mason Rudolph 2.0? That's not fair to say, but the pattern is what should worry Steelers fans. If the Steelers baby him too much, if they decide, let's just hide him on IR and keep the vets rolling, he could lose an entire year of development. That's not just a lost year, that's momentum gone. For a rookie quarterback, that's everything. And here's the twist. Howard himself says he's back to throwing already. He told Pat McAfee last week that he's tossing the ball around again. So the hand is healing, the kid's eager, and yet the front office might still choose to sit him all season. Does that make sense? Let's think big picture here. Aaron Rodgers is on borrowed time. He said it himself, 2025 could be his final season. Mason Rudolph is reliable, but not a long-term answer. Thompson? He's playing well now, but he's 28 and clearly just a bridge piece. That leaves one guy who could potentially be the future, Will Howard. So why would you keep him sidelined when you've got a chance to groom him under one of the smartest quarterbacks to ever play the game? Look, I get it. There's value in sitting and learning. Rodgers did it behind Favre, Mahomes did it behind Alex Smith, but there's a difference between learning and being shelved. Rodgers still got preseason reps. Mahomes still got his Week 17 start his rookie year. They weren't locked away on IR like museum pieces. Let me throw some stats at you about Howard to remind you why this is such a big deal. At Ohio State, this kid showed poise. He threw for over 3,000 yards his final season, 28 touchdowns, and only 7 interceptions. He wasn't just a system quarterback, he made NFL throws, deep outs, seam shots, back shoulder fades. The talent is there, the frame is there. At 6'5", 240 pounds, he's got the build to take hits in the AFC North. And we're talking about an AFC North where Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, and Jadeveon Clowney are coming at you every Sunday. You need size and toughness, and Howard's got both. So here's my concern as a fan. By playing it too safe, the Steelers might actually hurt Howard's confidence and delay his readiness. It's like keeping a racehorse locked in the stable because you're scared he might stumble. Sure, you protect him, but you also rob him of the experience he needs to become elite. Now, let's be clear. I'm not saying throw Howard out there in Week 5 against the Ravens and let him get destroyed by Roquan Smith. But there's a middle ground here. Get him into practices. Get him scout team reps. Let him be the emergency QB on game day once he's cleared. Find ways to get him live action experience without throwing him to the wolves. And honestly, Steelers Nation, this comes down to philosophy. Do we want to play it ultra safe and risk wasting another young quarterback? Or do we trust our system, trust our coaches, and start molding this kid into the future of Steelers football? Because here's the truth. The Rodgers window is short. If the Steelers don't start building a bridge now, we could be staring at another painful QB carousel like we had after Ben, and none of us want to go back to those days. So I want to hear from you. Do you agree with Kaboli that the Steelers are being too cautious with Will Howard? Should he be activated as soon as he's healthy? Or do you think IR for the season is the right move? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading every single one because this is one of those conversations that will define where this franchise goes next. If you're fired up like me about the future of the black and gold, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a breakdown. This is Steelers Nation Wire, and we're going to be here all season, holding this front office accountable and celebrating every win with you. Now tell me, Steelers Nation, is Will Howard the next great quarterback for Pittsburgh, or is the team about to repeat history and mishandle another young talent? The floor is yours.